head coach of Washington, Jed Fitch, put out on social media because Coach Saban on College Game Day said we need to change the college football calendar. The conference commissioners need to get together, figure this out because the transfer portal opens today, and we are still right in the middle of the college football playoffs. There are 4 teams left, and there's only a 10-day, 14-day period for the transfer portal. That's it. There's only one this season. Jed Fish, the head coach of Washington, put it out, laid out the entire guidelines, and I think he might do it. He might have hit the nail on the head here. He might have actually got it right. He said portal in May, spring practice after that, just like the NFL does, exactly what we should be doing. And he says, thanks, Coach Saban, for saying that out loud. Is this the right process with the transfer portal obviously starting today and with things being wild? I mean, it was minutes after the Ole Miss game that just reports started flying in about official people hitting the portal. There was 30 people in the portal at midnight. At 12:05 Eastern, there was 500. Like, it's insane. Now, when you're trying to figure out how to do it in the right structure, should this be moved to May?
I can't think of a reason not to. I mean, what is the reason not to? I'm sure that somebody has something somewhere, but you want to talk about like semesters. That's at the end of this spring semester.
That fits. So, and that's usually been the argument is like you have to make sure that people have enough time to enroll in classes, because as much as people want to still believe that it's not, that, some people like to make the joke to say college football is a scam. They don't actually go to classes. They still go to classes. It's just a lot of it's online these days, but you still have to enroll. You still have to do that. And if you have to set up, being able to move and take care of business, whatever. I think it'd be easier to travel in the summer, to be able to move in the summer. I mean, look, right now we're dealing with historic winter storms, historic rains. I mean, did you see how the Rose Bowl looked before that game started? I mean, they were sweeping gallons of water off the field. They were sweeping it, right? That gave me back Navy PTSD from when I was in the military, sweeping off the boat. With water, insane stuff. I mean, I will say this, man. I think this is right. I think this is the right move. Obviously, it's not going to happen this year with the portal already being open. But when they take a deeper look at things this offseason, one of them is obviously going to be the college football playoffs and the format and what happens with bye teams and things like that. I think you got to look at what happens with this transfer portal and maybe really think about moving that to May starting in 2027.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it while you were kind of talking about, all of the rain and stuff there. I do wonder if the argument is going to be that these players can't get to their next team like right away. How are they going to train between now and then? But look, the way that I look at that, the answer to that question is there isn't a good answer then. Like, there is no good answer if those are your two trains of thought, because it's either right away and it's like what it is now, essentially. We all know how bad it is now. It's not, I guess, as bad as it was last year with 2 portals. I'm not sure why we even ever had 2 portals. But like, there's never going to be a good answer then if you want to find a reason not to have it later. That's a perfect time to, if you have to train in a different facility for some reason, every university, like if you're enrolled, I'm sure at least Iowa State was, if you were enrolled, you could go to the gym. It's not like you can't train. There's definitely places that have heavy things that you can move around. And that's essentially what training comes down to, or the ability to run. Like, there are fields all over, campuses everywhere. So you make a very good point. Like, enrolling in these classes, they're not technically like the same as a normal student. They're probably not going into class the same amount of times, and they're doing a lot at the facility. But I'll tell you, as a recent grad, enrolling in classes is a huge pain in the butt. Like, this is not just like, they make it so hard for no reason, man. But like, switching up the time frames, doing it at a weird time of year, like kind of mid-January, is only going to make things harder. So just do it at the end of the year, move on, take it one basically calendar year, one academic year at a time, chunk it, move on, chunk it, and get into the next year. I think that's actually a really good plan. But I think more than that, it has to change from what it is now, because what you're looking at is the Lane Kiffin situation. What you're looking at is, and it's not really the same because Iowa State chose not to be in a bowl game, but a ton, and this isn't just Iowa State, a ton of schools and teams across the country are losing guys to the portal before the bowl game, right? Like, look at Josh Hoover at TCU. We weren't sure TCU could win that game because they wouldn't have their quarterback. Well, would Josh Hoover have jumped in the portal if he would have had to wait till May? I'm guessing not. So you allow these teams to finish out the the season as they are, or the players opt out, which is, I mean, it's a thing too. But I think that you have to move it at least in some capacity. And May makes the most sense because it's either May or in the middle of the semester, and you just can't do that.
Yeah, it would take away the fact that people would opt out of bowl games and make bowl games more important. I mean, we're seeing even players opt out of the college football playoffs. We've seen it 2 years in a row. If Penn State did it, we're seeing some players from Oregon that are stepping out right now as well. I think it makes sense to move the portal to May. And to me, I thought the biggest concern from coaches was going to be that's not enough time to build your roster, be prepared for August. But you're seeing a prominent head coach in Jed Fish say, no, that's fine. Let's do that. Let's make that the right process. And that means that the only players that you would most likely have forego bowl games or forego college ball playoffs are ones who decide to enter the draft. But you're not changing that regardless. And that's something that didn't change. That was something that was a process for the last decade before NIL and transfer portal. So I think that's the best way to bring back structure is bring the transfer portal to May, have it one time. But that's going to be in the future because the transfer portal is open right now, and it is absolutely wild already. This weekend's going to be insane, Nick.
Well, and that's a great point that you make, like with as far as the coaches and what they think, because the players are in a very interesting position with, do they play or can they play and enter the portal? Do they play or enter the portal? How does that work out? What about the coaches? They've got to be building their next season's roster if you're one of the 4 teams remaining while coaching for a college football national championship. Like that, the timing is just terrible. It doesn't work like this. So I'm 100% with you. I can't wait to see it change. But for right now, I guess we're living life on hard mode. I don't know.